Okay, on today's webinar, we're going to cover searching in Matrix. We're going to show you a lot of good stuff. We'll start off with some basic searching, some differences from Fusion when you search, because everyone is used to how we searched in Fusion. Now you're coming into a new system, Matrix, and it does have some differences. Whether it's better or worse, it's just different. I think in a lot of cases it's better. Okay, so without further ado, I want to show you first, what I like to show you is the speed bar up here at the top. You'll also notice on your home page, and it may not be here, but your search box might be down here somewhere. I'm just going to move it up here. But what I want to show you is that the first thing you can do is do a search by the MLS number right here. Okay, street number, street name, but I like the speed bar because the speed bar, no matter what tab you're on, is always up here and available for you. So the first thing you're going to learn by using the speed bar is typing in the MLS number up there, hitting your enter button, and getting the results. You can put a comma or a space. I like to do a space, and then type in as many MLS numbers as you like in there. I don't know a limit, so just type in as many in there with a space or a comma separating them. Okay, that's the first thing on the speed bar. Second thing on the speed bar, you can do an address such as 5334 Via de Palma, and you just type in the address, and by that address I found 4 listings. 2 of them are historical listings, one of them is expired, and one of them is an active listing. Okay, so just by the address. Don't type in north, south, east, or west, and you shouldn't have to do the drive or road after it. So just street number, street name. Now, let's say you don't know the street number, but you know the street name. Just type in a street name. And I found 54 listings on Via de Palma right there, and you can see that I've got several different, and they're different addresses and stuff. Now, what you can do is also type in the street name space A for active. And there's only one active listing on Via de Palma. Okay, so let's take an extreme case like Tropicana. If I do Tropicana, I get 1,655 listings because it's not searching by property type, it's not searching by status, and it doesn't even do the east or west here. It just says Tropicana. Now I can do A for active. And out of that 1655, I'm now down to 26. And hopefully you notice the speed in Matrix. Hopefully you notice it's so much faster than what Fusion was. Okay? So Tropicana A for active. And I could do A space C for contingent. Now I've got 36 listings instead of 20 something I had. And you can also do space RES for residential. And now, instead of all property types, I'm just looking at residential, and I'm down to 23. But that's a pretty extreme case. The Tropicana is a really long and busy road there, okay? So I want to show you that. The next thing I like to show you is this. A for active, RES, res for residential, $ 200-300. Now notice I only did $1 in there. Space Henderson. Hit my enter, and I've got 396 matches active residential between 200 and 300,000 in Henderson. Okay, if I come in here and instead of res I say SFR, now I just got single family residential, not condos, townhomes, and all that other stuff. And it doesn't matter the order. Instead of Henderson here, I could have said Henderson maybe in between here, separated by a space or a comma, and I still get the same results. Okay, so it doesn't matter the order. Instead of 200-300, I could say 200 plus. Do my search, and that means 200,000 or greater. If I say 200 minus, that means 200,000 or less. If I say 200, that means exactly $200,000. And see, I got exactly $200,000. Or the range like I had. Now watch this. I could also do some other stuff such as 3 plus space 2 plus. And this does matter on the order because it stands for beds and baths. Okay, so they need to be back to back. Now it could be anywhere in this line that I did, but they need to follow each other. So I got 3 plus, 2 plus, which means 3 or more beds and 2 or more total baths. Do my search and get the results there. Okay. Okay, so just wanted to show you that there. Okay, so remember, if I said 3 space 2, that means exactly 3 and exactly 2. No more, no less of each of those. And I could have said 3-5 for 3 to 5 bedrooms and 2-4 to 2 to 4 total baths out there. You can't do everything up here. So one last thing you can do up here that I want to show you is square feet. So you could also do like maybe 2,000 plus space SQFT. And that's going to give you everything that's 2,000 square feet or more. Okay. Like I said, the order does not matter. You can use the question mark right here, and this question mark, as you drop down, you will see that we have some searching tips for you. Okay, so just kind of play with this, and actually, let me close that. That was under that question mark there. But honestly, when you just go in and do regular searches, keep your eye on this up here, because as you do a normal search or a full search, as you might say, you'll see the results up here. If you keep your eye on there, it'll kind of show you how you could have done it too. Okay, but like I said, you can't do subdivision, you can't do community names up here. Can't do like 1 story, 2 story on there, or at least not yet. Maybe we'll work on increasing that, but for now, that's how you've got it. Okay. I also want to show you recent searches up here. As you do searches in Matrix, we remember your last 50 searches that you have done, and down here you can click on View All 50, and it's like a little temporary memory. Okay, so here's all 50 searches that I have done recently, dating back until yesterday. So at any time I can just click on one and it pulls it right back up as if I ran it at that time yesterday at 3:56 p.m. Okay, so I think that's kind of cool feature to the recent, because we didn't have that in Fusion either. Now, in Fusion, something we did have is you could multitask. You'd have multiple searches open at one time, which means that I could have a search for John here, and then Sally calls me up and she wants me to do a search for her. Well, let me show you how to do that here in Matrix. It's a little different, but it's still possible to do. So if I'm in the middle of a search for John right here, and Sally calls me up, if I go up to search and click on residential, I know if I click on residential, I'm going to lose this here. So before I click on residential, if I hold down my control button and then click on residential, do you notice another tab opened? I'm not sure if you guys can see my tabs up here, but I got another tab opened up at the top here. And now I can do my search for Sally and go back to my other tab for John. So all I did was hover over search, and before I clicked on any of these property types, I held down the control button and I clicked on it. Or you can right click on it and open in a new tab. And it just opens a new tab here. And you can do that anywhere in here, like contacts. Right click on it, open in a new tab, and now I've got another tab just for contacts. When I've got a search here I can do for Sally, another search here I can do for someone else, and John's search still there. But just like in Fusion, when you have these multiple tabs, we always encourage you to start closing them down. Otherwise, you're just going to have all these tabs open at one time. Okay, so hopefully that helps you right there. Okay. Okay, so that's multi-searching, that's recent searches there, and that's the speed bar. Hopefully that's some good stuff here just in the first 10 minutes of this webinar. But wait, we still got a lot more to cover. Let me show you some good stuff here. Now, when you go to search residential, as soon as you click on residential and you go to your property type, you'll notice contingent is selected here. I don't like contingent. I find myself always taking contingent out. In fact, not only do I take that out, but I add single family most of the time. I like it to be this way all the time when I come and do my search for residential. So let me show you how you lock this down. What you're going to do is right up here underneath the results tab, there's a little settings wheel right here. You're going to click on it, and once you're satisfied with the criteria that you like and you want this selected search criteria as your starting default, just click that link and is now set. What that means is every time I do a search residential, it's going to not have contingent in there, and it will have single family in there. Okay, hopefully that will save you some time too. And you can always change it. Like I'm going to do it here. I'm going to change it back. I'm going to take out single family and I'm going to add contingent back in there. And just make sure if you change it and you want this to be changed again, just click that link again, and now it's right back to how it was when I started here. Okay. A couple other things here. You'll notice when you pick on some fields in here like sold or pending or leased or expired, you notice it puts the days back here because we just assume you don't want all expired or all leased or sold or pending. You just probably want the recent ones. Okay, so what you could do, and this, let me have just solds in here. What you could do in here is just have 90 days, or you could have, maybe 30 days. If you take that out completely, means you don't care. And for Las Vegas, when you say solds, you're going back an entire year, because once listings are sold more than a year, they become history. And then the remaining 9 years of that listing, it'll be in the history tab. So we keep them for 10 years. The first year they're sold, and then the remaining 9 years they're history. Okay. But yeah, you can change the days back, or type in a date, such as 1/1/16. Now, if you leave it like that, what you're going to get is everything that's sold on that one day, January 1st. If you want everything after that day, and see if you leave your cursor here, see that little menu that pops up there? It says enter in the month, day, year formats. And use the range, the plus and the minus and stuff. So what that's saying is if I leave it like that, that's exactly that day. But if I say a plus after that, that's everything after that day until today. If I put a minus sign, that's everything on that day and before, like 2015 and 14 and 13. Well, actually your solds only go back a year, so that's what that is. Or you can do today's date, 5/26/16. Okay, I just think it's easier to do the plus sign there. Okay, so that's how you do that. Let me think here. Okay. Okay. Just kind of check in, make sure everyone can still see my screen, and they can. Now, if you're going to pick multiple property types here, okay, you notice as I click one, the other ones go away. So how do you select multiple ones? Hold down the control key, and now I can pick those two. If you pick the first one and hold down the shift key, you pick everything in between there. Okay. Now, if you don't hold down anything and you just pick one of them, all the other ones go away except for that one you picked. Okay, that's going to be different from Fusion also. Okay, several of you probably have already encountered that. Now, if I want to get rid of single family, if I'm just clicking on it, it won't go away. But if I hold down that control button and click it again, now it goes away. Okay, that works over here. So if I want multiple ones, just hold it down and pick them, and then hold down the control and get rid of them here. You could go up here and start typing in Anthem, comma, SUMMER, and if you go down, you notice I didn't spell Summerlin all the way. So if I go down here and I look at it, you notice it already has Summerlin in there. Then I can do comma, Spanish Trail, and you notice I didn't get it all, but if I look at it in here, I got Spanish Trail already. So you actually don't have to finish spelling it up here. I could have also clicked on that little box right there. And let me make this bigger. And you notice it got all three of them this way. So you could do it this way and add them that way too. Okay. And the same thing with area numbers. So here, if I did 101, comma, 201, comma, 301, comma, I'm picking them right up in this box. I could also pick the first one, scroll down, and then maybe everything from 101 to 606. Now hold down the shift key and it picks everything in between there, okay? Otherwise, I'd have to hold down my control and click on every single one, and that would be a little bit harder to do out there, okay? Okay, let me check my notes over here, make sure I've got everything. Okay, so let's see here. Next thing I want to show you is the not operator here. If I say not single family, that means I'll take any other subproperty type, but not single family, okay? Or not condos. So that's a little easier than picking everything else except for those two. Now I'm just saying not those two. If I leave it on or, that means I'll take condos or single family, okay? I think Fusion might have been the same in that respect there. But let me show you another one here. We got and, or not. So if I pick age restricted and basketball, age restricted and basketball courts, and it's on or, that means one or the other. If I say not, that means not those two. And if I say and, now I'm only getting age restricted and basketball courts. So I'm only getting those listings where the realtor had actually said both of those in those options. And if the realtor didn't type it in, I'm not going to find them. So we all know that there's some agents out there that don't fill in as much criteria as possible. And if they don't do it and you say and, you're not going to find their listings. So just kind of remember that. But it's also good to remember when you enter listings, make sure you tell everything as much as possible about your listings. That's very important. I'm sure you guys want to sell your properties. I don't think you're doing this for the fun of it. Okay, so if you really want to sell your properties, tell us as much as possible about your listings. Because if you don't put something in the system and people search for it, they won't find it. Okay. Okay, so that's the and or not. And very similar to the and or not, and we kind of covered this already, but it's when you deal with numbers like price, bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, garage, year built, you can do 300, and remember the plus means more, minus means less than, and a range is dash 400. Okay, and the question mark will remind you right here about that. Okay, all these fields have a question mark. Oop, and if you click on it, it opens up for you. But they all have it. So numbers, you need the plus, minus, and the range in here. Because if I just type in 4 bedrooms there, I'm only getting exactly 4 bedrooms. No more, no less. So I need a plus if I want greater than. Okay, and keep your eye on the number count down here, the number of matches, because as I do 4, you'll notice I got 1,043, but as soon as I say plus, I get 1,483, so a lot more. If I say minus, then it changes to 1,899. Okay, so that's a live count, very familiar to Fusion people. Bedroom, same way. Bathrooms, approximate living area. Here, once again, if I say 2,000 plus square feet or living area, that means 2,000 or more square feet. If I say garage and I say 2 plus garage, that just means 2 or more garages there. Year built, I could say everything built in year 2000 or greater, or everything built between 1990 and 2000. Okay. So get that out of the way, get that out of the way. Next on my list here, adding more fields. So when you come down here, you'll notice we don't have every single field in this list here. Okay, we just got some the most common ones that a lot of people use. But if you come down here at the bottom, underneath where it says map and results and how many matches you have, it says add or remove additional fields. Okay, so you're not going to have anything down here. Okay, in fact, let me just remove my 3 fields that I added, because you're not going to have them when you first come in. So it's going to look like mine with nothing here. So just like in Fusion, you could add whatever fields you like, but not like Fusion is as you add these fields and you pick them, let me do remarks, public remarks, move them over. I pick something like description, and let me do lot description and property description. Hold down the control key and move them both over. And then when you hit back, they're permanently going to be saved down here at the bottom for you. Fusion, you would have to keep adding them over and over again if you kept using them, unless you created your own search template and saved it. That was a few extra steps, but here they're permanently here until you remove them. Now, what I like to do is I do want to show you how to search by remarks, because I think a lot of people like to do that, and I'm going to get to that in a second here. Okay, so I went over a lot of common searching techniques here. We're going to come back and we're actually going to do a radius search and draw the shapes on the map, and then we're going to come back and actually show you how to search by street name or subdivision name, because we've got these things called a wildcard that you're going to need to know. Okay, but right now we covered a lot of the basics, so kind of let me wipe the slate clean, and what we're going to do now is do a new search for a client. Okay, and we're going to save it. We're going to save it as an auto email for my clients. So starting from scratch, if you get a new client in here, and let's just say you get a new client, and let's say the client is Sam. Sam is your client. Let me go through the steps. Now the first step you could, and you don't have to do this first step. The first step is to go to My Matrix and go to Contacts, and then you could go down here and add Sam to your contact list, okay? But you don't have to do that, okay? And I'm going to show you another situation here. What you could do, and it's just like how Fusion was, you didn't have to add the contact in first in Fusion. You could go straight to your search in Fusion, and in Matrix you can do the same thing. So if I forgot to add Sam to my contact list and I start doing my search for Sam first, that's okay, because you're going to see I have a back door to add Sam to my contact list. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say active listings, I'm going to say single family, detached. I keep picking on Anthem because it's right here at the top of my list. I'm going to put my price range in here of $1 million or more. And we're going to say at least 4 bedrooms or more here, okay? Okay, excuse me, I had to sneeze. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so you enter your criteria for your client. Then you could map it if you like, just to see where these listings are at. And you could go to results if you like, just to see what they look like. And you can go back to criteria and, you know, maybe throw in bathrooms. Maybe you want at least 3 total baths or more, and go to results. But once you're satisfied with this search and the results, now I want to save this as my search. Okay, and if we have more time, we'll cover this results grid here too, depending on how much time, but we'll save that near the end. But I like this. I've got 26 matches here, and I want to save this search for Sam. So I come down here to the bottom where I have actions, refine, and I will talk about refine, and save. We may not have time to talk about carts, but we will cover that in the next webinar today for the client. So save. I'm going to save this as a new auto email. Okay, I don't want to save it as a search, because if I save it as a search, it's not auto prospecting, it's not finding new matches. It's saved and I can link it to Sam, but I want to search every day or every hour for new matches. So I'm going to save it as a new auto email. When I click on that, now it says, okay, add this client. Well, remember I forgot to add Sam to my list. No, that's okay. I can add them right here. Create a new contact. Now I can go ahead and type in Sam's name here. We'll say Jackson. Email address is Sam at, now remember, if your client doesn't have an email address, okay, and well, first of all, if they don't have an email, you can't do an auto email for them, but in Matrix, they have to have an email address in order for you to add a contact. You could give them your email address, or I like to make up one like Sam Jackson at no email email.com. Because when I see that word no email in there, then I'll realize, oh, that's right, he doesn't have an email address, so I can't email him. And you can do multiple email addresses. So we all know that, husband and wife and kids or whatever, they might all have, multiple email addresses. So you could put a comma here or a semicolon, and you can do up to 5 email addresses in this box right here, okay? You could also type in Sam and Linda in here, okay, and do it that way. You see the salutation changes, and you can say, hi, Sam and Linda, hello, dear, or customize it. And if you customize it, then you can say whatever you like here, howdy, Sam and Linda, okay? You could also say show all fields. And here you could type in additional names, you can type in street address, company names, and notes down here at the bottom, okay? And once you're done, obviously just save it. And now they are added to my contact list, but I'm right in the middle of the flow of saving my search, so there's no backtracking I have to do. Now, do I want to blind carbon copy myself when it finds a new match for Sam? Maybe, okay, or maybe not, that's up to you. Give it a name. Sam, your clients might have multiple searches, so distinguish this search from his other searches. So that way when he gets it, he'll know exactly this is something in Anthem, single family, over $1 million. Okay. And then there's a welcome message here. Okay. This welcome message is something he sees the first time, when he opens this email up. We have a default message here, but you can customize it. And sometimes what I like to do is put in my own message such as, please click the link below to activate this search, okay? And there is a video under the Help tab that you could copy and paste that link because it's to a YouTube page, okay? Remember those videos under the Help tab I mentioned. You could copy and paste that link into here and say, hey, look, if you need help using that portal, watch this video and maybe it'll help you there, okay? But customize your message as much as you want, but they only see this message the very first time. You can save this message too. See this little wheel down here? If you hit that wheel, you can set that default message as your default, and you won't have to type this in for any client, not just Sam and Linda, but any client from here on out. After your client opens this message, all future messages will be under the recurring email. Here, this is what they're going to see when they get new matches on a daily basis. This real simple message. We are going to put a little thumbnail view in here, so when they receive it, they'll actually see a thumbnail of each of the houses that came up new, okay? I don't think that's there yet. But you could come in here and type in another message like, remember to save, reject, and leave notes on listings, okay? Something like that. And down here you can lock that off as your default message also, current message here. And that way you don't have to type this message in over and over again. And hopefully you were on yesterday's webinar. If not, you can watch it again. But here I've got my email signature already set up to go. So that way people can just see, my signature, and I won't have to do that over and over again. But that's your welcome and recurring message. If you scroll on down, we got ASAP. We also have this Concierge Mode. Hold on to that thought on that Concierge, okay? Because I want to show you that one next. Now you got ASAP. Do I want to send this to them as soon as possible, once a day in the morning, once a day in the evening, or twice a day, or once a month? Okay, so you choose the setting. I'm going to say ASAP here, and then you're going to save it. And that search, that auto email is now saved. They got sent that welcome message, and life is good. Now, where do I find this saved search? It's under My Matrix. It's actually 2 places. It's actually under My Matrix Contacts, and if I click on Sam and Linda Jackson here, I can see I have an auto email right here for the Anthem single family over 1 million. The other place it's at, it's actually under My Matrix Auto Emails, and it's right here, Anthem single family over $1 million right here too. Okay, now let me explain these color codes to you. The white circle means that they haven't clicked that link yet. Okay, we sent it to them, but they haven't clicked it yet. Now they've got 80 days to click on that link, but I would not wait 80 days to find out if they are looking at listings or not. So keep your eye on these white circles, and then maybe after a few days, a couple days, you know, if it's still white, you might want to reach out to Sam and Linda and make sure everything's okay and say, hey, I noticed you haven't opened that search yet. Is everything okay? Because what you could do is open that search up and you could resend that welcome message to them. Okay, just remind your clients that when you send this to them, it could also go to their junk or spam folder too. So have them check that, but you can resend it to them. Okay, now once they click on it, it becomes green. And once it's green, it's active, they're looking at it, and life is good, and it will never shut off as long as they're looking at this search. Okay, so they got 80 days to look at it, and then if they look at it one time in that 80-day period, it extends it for another 80-day period, and then it keeps extending it and extending it and extending it. Okay, now once it gets to 80 days, it will turn off. We'll send you a note that it got shut down, and this message here, it'll actually give a red circle here like you're seeing, but the message will say disabled due to inactivity. Okay, that they haven't been there in 80 days, so we shut it off. You can always turn it back on. All you need to do is just click on it, go to settings. You notice this, now I disabled this one, okay, but in that case it is say due to inactivity. And then scroll down and enable it, okay, turn it right back on. That's all you have to do. Okay, now there's another situation. Let's say you have it running, let's say they're looking at it, but they're going on vacation for a couple of weeks, or they kind of want to take a time out from searching. Maybe it's not a good time like they thought, and maybe something came up, some family emergency, and they want you to put this on hold. What you can do is put a check mark here. You could delete it. Now deleting it would permanently get rid of it. Okay, you could check mark it and disable it. That's what I would do. Just hit disable, and it'll say, are you sure? Hit OK. And now you've got a red exclamation point here, and it says disabled by the agent. I disabled it. I took a timeout. I put it on a timeout. When they come back to me and they're ready to start this back up, what I'm going to do is just click on it, go to settings, disabled by the agent, so let me come down here and enable it. I'm going to hit enable, and I'm going to hit save. And you notice it's turned right back on. It's got a white circle waiting on them to click on it, and as soon as they do, it becomes green. Now, let's say Sam and Linda bought a house. Do I still want them to get auto emails? Probably not. So I could then come and check mark it and delete it and get rid of it. I could disable it, but to me a disable keeps it in the auto emails. Notice I have 9 of them here. I want to hold on to it. I don't want to disable it though. I want to move it back to the saved searches. Okay, so watch this. It's an auto email. I got 9 of them, and if you remember from previous classes or webinars, we have auto emails and saved searches. Saved searches are not auto prospecting, they're just inactive searches. Auto emails are prospecting, and they're active searches. So right now I've got this as an auto prospecting search, but I'm done with it. I want to move it to the save search box. To do that, all you need to do is go to that search, go to settings, and right up here turn this auto email into a saved search. And now the only question is, what do you want to call it? We'll call it Anthem SFR over 1 million again, and then you save it. And you notice now I only have 8 auto emails. Where did that one for Sam and Linda Jackson go? Well, first it's under their contact list for Sam and Linda, but now it's just a saved search, and I could also find it under saved searches for Sam and Linda Jackson right there. Okay, so now it's just turned off. And I can always do the opposite. I could always go back in later, click on it, go to settings, and convert it into an auto email. So either way, you can turn them on, turn them off, and go that way there. Okay. So that's how you save an auto email. Let me go through that step one more time, but I'm going to add a twist to it. Okay. And this is going to involve the concierge mode. Because you're going to have clients like this, or you might be an agent that wants to do this. You don't want Sam and Linda to see those listings until you look at them first, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to do your search, residential, you're going to put in their criteria, you're going to do their price range, you're going to get the results again, and you're going to go down and save this as a new auto email, and you're going to pick Sam and Linda. You're going to give it your name again, Anthem search over 1 million, that's fine. You're going to, and if you've already modified this message and you saved it as your default, you won't have to do that again. And if you already did this on your recurring, you won't have to do that again because those will already be set. So when I come down here, instead of sending it to them first ASAP or sending it to them first daily, once a day, twice a day, I want to enable the concierge mode. Concierge mode will not send it to them without me looking at it first, okay? I have to approve it before they ever see them. So in this case, when I hit save, or when I said enable concierge, notice, let me take this out. Notice I had a schedule here, okay? But as soon as I enable concierge, there is no schedule. And now when I hit save, it's going to take me to that list of properties, and I have to start approving them before they ever see them, okay? So I have 33 listings that I need to look at, and I need to either approve them or reject them. So if they're looking for something specific, you know, like white kitchen cabinets, you know, sometimes you might have to look at the picture. Ooh, nice house there. Sometimes you might have to look at the picture first. Okay, and kind of scroll through and see if it's something that you think they'll like. Okay, sometimes you might have to click on the MLS number, and you might have to look at it in the full detail view and kind of look at some stuff this way. Let me scroll this back up, and you might have to change it, maybe not to an agent full view, but maybe the 12 photo view, and kind of look at it this way and see if you think this is a good listing for them to have. Okay, so here what you can do is change it to whatever view that you think is a good one for you. Maybe the photo gallery view. Okay, maybe change it to this one and see if that helps you decide if you like it or not. Okay, let me move this box out of my way here so I can scroll up. So so that might help you. I'm just going to switch it back though to the single line view. So what you're going to do, you're just going to start picking some houses that you think they like, and you're going to approve it. As soon as you approve it, boom, they get sent those listings. Now here's the situation, just so that you know it, and you decide if you want to do this or not, because there's not a right or wrong way. If I pick one listing and I approve it, then I pick one listing and then I approve it, and then I pick one listing and I approve it. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but what happened is they just got 3 separate emails, but either email they click on will take them to their list of houses, and they'll see it. But I'd rather do it this way. I'd rather pick the ones I like them to see and then approve them all at one time. That way they just get one email with 3 listings in it, and it takes it to their portal instead of 3 separate ones. But that's up to you how you want to do it. Just want to mention that. But so what you might want to do, knowing that, what you might want to do is select the listings that you don't like and reject them. And then that way, after you're done with rejecting them, now there's no problem with rejecting them one at a time. Okay, you can look at it, select it, and reject it, because when you reject it, they don't see anything. Okay, because you're not sending it to them. So you might want to go through your list and start rejecting the ones you don't like. And that way, the ones you're left with are the ones you like. And then all you have to do is approve all 9 of them at one time. Okay? So once because you're going to have to make a decision on these here, because you chose the concierge mode, which it does not send it out until you make a decision. So whenever you log in, you're going to have this Concierge Mode, and you're going to have listings sitting here for you to approve. And right now I got 48 total, but 17 of them are for Sam, or 9 of them are for Sam and Linda. So what I need to do is just click on Sam and Linda's and look at them, and they will not see these until I come in and I approve them. If I reject them. Now, what if your client changes their mind a couple weeks down the line, or a month or 2 months or 3 months down the line? Well, not a problem here, because now I can look at the 14 that I have rejected over the course of this search. And as long as they're still on the market, I can unreject it. I could select it and now send it to them because they changed their mind. So I think that's a wonderful feature, which we couldn't do in Fusion, because in Fusion you would send the listings to yourself, and if you liked it you would forward it to them, but if you didn't like it you would just probably delete that email or that search, or you had to hold on to it. Here we hold on to it for you, and as long as they're still available you can unreject it and send it out to them. Okay, so I think that concierge thing is a really neat feature there. Okay, let's see here. So that's the concierge. Now, if you have a search in a concierge, unless you want to take it out of concierge mode, so what you do is you go up to My Matrix, Auto Emails, or you could have went to Contacts, whichever. Find that search that's in a concierge mode, and it's for Sam and Linda. Right here it is. Click on it, go to Settings, and then when you scroll down, take out that concierge mode, or the concierge mode, and now say ASAP once a day or twice a day and save it. Okay, so you can take it back out. And if your clients ever change their mind on their price range, bedrooms or bathrooms or criteria, just go right back to that search, whether it's an auto email or save search, or better yet, just go to that contact, open up their name, and then come in here and pick on that search that they want, and then modify the criteria right here. Go right back into criteria, change that price range. Maybe now they're looking for 900,000 or greater. And then when you hit save, after you make that change, you hit save, it will prompt you to rename it or give it the same name. And it will say that you've revised your criteria. So you might want to let them know that I revised it by lowering the price from $1 million down to 900,000, just to let them know. Otherwise, if you don't let them know, they won't know that you changed your criteria on them. And then save it. Okay, so so that's a neat feature that you can just change your criteria again. Okay, let me look at my list here. I do have another situation I'd like to show you here. Okay. Let's do that auto email one more time with a twist. If I do a search residential, and then after this we need a map search. Search residential, single family, detached. I'll pick Anthem again, and I'll do $1 million again or more. Go to results. Now watch this. Before I save it, because if I go right now to save as a new auto email, they'll get sent a link, and when they open it up, they're going to see whatever matches I have right here, which is in this case 33. But let's say before I save it as an auto email, I could go to refine, check mark a few houses that I know that they like. Okay, and here's two situations. The first situation, I'm not sure if I really like this one or not, but you can do it. So let me explain it. Maybe they like these 4 houses and they want to keep an eye on them. Okay, if I hit narrow, out of those 33, now I just narrowed it down to 4 houses here. Now if I go to save as a new auto email, what happens, they will get these 4 emails or these 4 listings, okay? But they will never find anything more than just these 4 houses. So what happens here is that they're going to get a search, and see right here, this search was narrowed down to a specific set of listings. So they will never see a 5th or 6th or 7th house. They will only see these 4 houses, and if they change price, change status, or whatever, okay, that's what they're going to see here, okay? I don't know if I like that or not, because remember, when you email listings, if they save it as a favorite or save it as a possibility, that's how they can hold on to it and see if it ever changes price or status or whatever out there. But yeah, you can do it this way, but that's what happens. Let me show you the opposite of this situation, which might be what you want to do. Let me use the back button. Now let's say they hate these houses. The 4 that I selected here, they just don't like. I don't care if you give them away for free. They don't like them for whatever reason, okay? So if you select these 4 listings and instead of narrow, you hit discard, you got rid of those 4 houses. Now you go to save as a new auto email. Now they'll get 29 houses because that's what's left. Plus they will get any new matches that come on the market with this search criteria, but they will never see those 4 listings, okay? Unless they expire and get a brand new MLS number, then they will see it. But as long as they keep those same MLS numbers, they will never see those 4 houses again. No matter if they change price, change photos, change status, whatever, they will never see those 4. Okay? So that might be a situation that you want to do. I would just caution against it because remember, if I would have sent them all 33 matches here, they can reject the ones they don't like. They can save the ones they do like. And then by them saving it or rejecting it, you know, it's in their folder there and they can see that they've rejected it and stuff. So you could do that. Use the refine button before you save them, but I just want to mention that situation to you, okay? I think it could be useful in some cases. Now, map searching. Let's do a map search here because there's some cool features on mapping. If I go to search residential, I could do a radius search, quarter mile, half mile, 1 mile, 2 miles of an address, such as 1750 Sahara. And if I hit my enter key, sometimes it might ask you, well, we wasn't sure which one. Do you mean East or West Sahara? So pick the one you meant. And now it mapped it for you. And if you hit map search and you zoom in, now you can see your criteria. It's situated 2 miles from, and now you can grab anywhere on this circle and draw it in more. See the radius there? Or draw it out farther and let go, and there's your new criteria. So you can just keep playing with this and get the distance that you like. Notice the different color codes here. Green is active, orange is contingent, and you'll see some purple ones in here. That's because there's a combination of 3 pins there of active and contingent. So they're that's why they changed colors to purple there. If I go back to criteria and I take out contingent, and now I look at the map, I just have green pins there now. Okay. Instead of an address here, watch this. I can type in MLS number 1621098, enter. And let me say 2 miles of that MLS number. Now I hit map search and I'm going to see everything within 2 miles of that MLS number. Okay, so that I think is cool. And you can still grab this and move it into maybe a mile instead of 2 miles. Okay. Something else you can do instead of MLS number, you can do intersection, East Sahara and Maryland. Hit search or enter on your keyboard and then hit map search, and now you're seeing I'm at an intersection of East Sahara and Maryland Parkway. Okay. If I go back to criteria instead of an intersection, and you can't always do this, but you could do something like McCarran International Airport or a mile of Sunset Park and do your search. So some landmarks like that you could do also, maybe a certain golf course you could do. Just can't guarantee that it'll always work for there, but at least try it. And now watch this. Let me move out a little bit. And I'm going to pull this out to 2 miles because I want to show you another feature. And I think you'll love this one here. Once you've got your circle, what you can do is eliminate a certain section of this circle. So I could do another circle, another rectangle, or a polygon. And if I do the polygon, now what I could do is click and click there and click and click and click. What I'm going to do is eliminate everything north of Sunset. Okay. Now, when I did that, you notice I've got listings up in there. Well, if I hover over, that's because it is already including that shape. It's a light blue. So if I hit exclude this shape, now I'm excluding everything north of there. And now you can drill down, get your shape, and start moving this a little more detailed and getting this exactly the way you want it to be. And now you can grab it anywhere right here along this line, just anywhere, grab it and move it up. Okay, and keep on doing this, keep on moving this up, and keep on getting this right, and you're going to see it's very cool to do. Okay, draw as many shapes as you want, draw as many curves and twists and points of interest and stuff. Something else while I'm in here I want to show you is if you go not just circle, rectangle, or polygon, and that's your clear button. We also have a layers right here. If you click on layers, you can do zip code, which turns on your zip code layers. You could turn on the city boundary lines. You might turn off the zip code ones, and now you're just looking at the city. You could do county, but we're all in Clark County here. We could do school districts, but we're all in Clark County school districts. You could do neighborhoods, might help you. I'm not really familiar with them here in Las Vegas, but they might help you a little bit. Okay, just see how accurate they are. Let me turn that off and let me do school zones. School zones, we'll plot the schools for you in a little red house, a school building, and we'll give you the names of it here too, and see if that helps you a little bit. Okay. Let's see here. Let me turn off those layers here. Okay, and if you go down far enough, you can see flood zones also. Okay, and now if I do layers, one more time. Now if I go to layers, now I can turn on the flood zones. So if I found specific houses or neighborhoods, it might help you with knowing what the flood zones are. Okay. Turn those off there. And let's see here. So yeah, drawing the map, and one more thing on the map. Let's go back to criteria and let me clear everything off of this. That's starting off with a radius search here, okay, a map search right here. But I want to draw my own shapes, okay, because the best way to find listings by location is not by area number, it's not by community name, it's not anything else. It's the best way is to go in and draw your own shapes. Okay, so watch this last technique, and you're going to save it as your defaults. So I like actives here, but before I do anything else, the only thing I want to do, I want to create a little template over a very favorite area that people all the time, when they come to me, they're looking for. They're looking for something, let's say it's in Green Valley or somewhere like that. Instead of me coming in and picking community name of Green Valley or picking Green Valley's area numbers or typing in the zip codes for Green Valley, because I like to define it off the map, which I think is going to be much more accurate. So nothing in here except for actives. Now here's the situation you're going to find yourself. You're going to click on map, and you're going to see all these little pins in your way, or balloons that get in your way. Now there are benefits to these pins. Okay, what these balloons are telling me is that there's 178 listings there, there's 67 there, and if I click on it, it just drills me down and I can see them, and then I can just bounce back up again and do the same thing. So there is a benefit to this, but in this situation, they're kind of annoying for me now. So let me show you how to turn them off. I'm going to go back to my criteria. The only thing I have here is active. So I'm going to put in an MLS number of 0. And when I go to my map, there are 0 listings with an MLS number 0. So now there's nothing on my map. So what I'm going to do now, I might need a little help of my layers in my neighborhood and turn that on if I want. I'm going to actually turn it off. And let's say I know my boundary lines. I'm going to use my polygon, and I'm going to just pretend that my boundary lines for Henderson start with Eastern and Sunset. Oops, polygon, Eastern and Sunset. They come over here somewhere, and then they come down to here, and then they come down to Southwest Parkway, hit there, and come up to here. Now, I did that real quick, but watch. Once I got my basic guidelines, now I can come down here and get more specific detailed of the twist and the curve in this road here, and maybe even zoom in a little bit more here just to make sure I've got this on Sunset, okay, and get that curve there. Come down Stephanie Street here, and see I kind of went off of it a little bit, so let me pull that back over a little bit. And then I can come down here to Horizon Ridge Parkway and get this just set just right. And bring this down here. But see, the key to this feature here is that I won't have to do this every time someone wants to live in this area. I'm just doing it one time, and I'm going to save it as one of my favorite searches. Okay? So even though I'm spending 5 minutes now doing this, it's going to be a permanent save for me there. Okay? Because I trust this location much better than I do anything else. So once you get your version of your favorite areas, and do this for many areas, okay, maybe one a week, set your favorite boundary lines. Make sure you go back to your criteria and take out MLS number 0. Very important there. When you go back to your map shape, look, I've got 391 matches in that area, which is my definition of Green Valley, okay, whether it's right or wrong. I really don't care right now, so I just wanted to show this to you. So all I have is active in that map area. So what I'm going to do, either on map, I can hit save as a search, or under results, I can hit save as a new search, and I'm going to give it a name. I don't want an auto email because I don't want this auto prospect. I just want to save this as map area of Green Valley. Okay, I don't need to link it to a client. Okay, it's not for anyone specifically. I do want to enable this as one of my 10 favorites though on my home page. So I put a check mark there, and now I hit save. Okay, now in the future, anytime someone calls me up wanting to live in that area, I've got a favorite search called map area of Green Valley, and I've done this a few times already, so you can see them up there. So all I have to do when Sally calls me and wants to live in there, I just click on it. There's 391 matches there, and when I go back to my criteria, now I can put in Sally's price range. I can type in her bedrooms. I can type in at least 2 or more total baths, and then when I go to results, I can save this as a new auto email for Sally. I don't want to update my map area of Green Valley because that would override my default. I'm just going to save it as a new search for Sally. So, and you'll see I won't have to draw my shape again. My shape is already drawn for there. So I can trust that one so much better than any other field in my list there. Okay. Well, we're right at the 1 hour mark. I do appreciate everyone in here. And I really apologize that I couldn't answer your questions here because we just had so many people on this list, and we got another one starting in an hour. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial here on searching. Hope this really helps you. We will record this and we will post it for you.